starting me over right back at the end.
When's the last time you were afraid? I haven't been afraid a day in my life.
The dead don't die, the heart still beats, head held high, I haunt these streets, lies killed me 100,000 times. You can try, but the dead don't die. Knock me down, 6 feet deep, one more round, no reprieve. Lies killed me 100,000 times. You can try, but the dead don't die. In the mirror, no reflection. Another day, just another resurrection. And where's the glory? Just another story. I won't be the ending that was written for me. And I'm never running, so try it again. Starting me over right where it began.
Might as well not take the beer off the table.
The dead don't die.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL has us at the foot of the Rockies, just west of downtown Denver at Empower Field at Mile High. Today we hit double digits, week 10, and we've got a good one in store, as it'll be the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Denver Broncos. And hello again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, we look at this Bronco team, and they've lost 3 straight here, and it goes without saying, I guess, they could certainly use a win.
And how do they get a win? Because they've lost 3 straight, I think it's paramount that they get a fast, clean start to this game.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Colts, they come in just in an absolute free-fall, losers of 7 in a row.
And this is where you turn to your best players and look at them and say, can you guide us out of this?
The shadow is starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. So the Colts now coming out for their opening drive. And they'll be led out by their 6-year quarterback.
And last week's loss came despite a clean game on his end, throwing the ball with 2 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. His job this week is simple. Do it again. Continue to avoid turnovers and hope that with something last week resolves itself this time around.
A 7-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 3.
Franks.
At the 36-yard line.
He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. It'll go as a loss of about 6, and now it brings up 3rd.
And 8.
They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down. The Franks looking to throw. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. 27 yards there on a very nice 3rd down conversion.
1st and 10 at the 43-yard line.
They go with the empty set there. 5 receivers in the formation. Normally, you want to have a running back in to block, but in this case, he's lined up to the right, and he ends up getting the football. A lot of confusion calls defensively, and it turns into a big play.
And maybe the wrong read there as he's going to go down immediately. They'll have to deal with a 2nd and 14 now after the loss. And they go play action with Franks. That's caught. It's Josh Downs. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 27-yard line. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
It's a gain of 20. First down, Indianapolis.
On first down, Sapp. And they're knocking on the door now. As a good run there, going to take this to about the 10-yard line. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
And the Colts, first down.
Now Franks. And he's got his man in stride, complete. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. it second down.
Brings up second and 5 at the 5-yard line.
Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a third down.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
Play number 9 now on this pretty long opening drive. But this is third down. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. A great effort there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Colts are on the board first here this afternoon. Now Cade York for the extra point. And this is good to make it 7-0 Indy. That time a 9-play drive. And the result for the Colts is a touchdown. York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away. Murray with a nice move. And able to get this out to the 25. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. And trotting out there leading them is their 4th-year quarterback.
And there was a positive in last week's loss. No interceptions thrown by him. But he only threw 1 touchdown pass, and you know he wants that to improve. He might even consider that as part of the reason that they couldn't take the win last time out. I believe we'll see a more aggressive version of him this week whenever they're nearing the end zone.
From the shotgun again to Jones. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29. You look at this Colt defense. They've been pretty solid against the pass. Toward the middle of the pack, number 14 in the NFL.
So in prepping for this game, I kept asking myself the question, what's keeping this group from being top 10 in the league against the pass?
And
Too many mistakes, especially little mistakes. And those add up into big mistakes. Big mistakes add up into points against you.
nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down. And inside give to Jones. And he'll be pretty well stopped in his tracks. Give him a yard up to the 42. The numbers on the ground for Jones last week. 22 carries, 90 yards, and a touchdown.
And when you measure numbers for the guys that carry the football, it's not just the yardage. How many times do they ring the bell? How many times they get into the end zone? And now that he has 15 for the year, everyone gets to celebrate, starting with his offensive line.
They'll see about converting this 3rd and 8.
A 1-yard pickup brings up 3rd and 8.
He'll look to throw. He'll try and do this himself. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. A nice job there on the escape and scramble. A first down, a 16-yard gain.
1st and 10 at the 42-yard line.
He's a talented runner, and that means he's always looking for bigger and bigger gains when he takes off. Certainly found some bonus yards there beyond the first down marker, and his early drive will continue with that extra jolt from his legs.
Oh, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete.
It's 2nd down and 10.
Slant pass, it's Ferguson. And they'll get him to the ground, and he has another first down at the Colts' 31-yard line.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line.
They go back to the ground with Jones. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. A great play there. His 16th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Broncos are able to match the opening drive touchdown against him with one of their own. Well, we've said it many times. He is always a threat to go the distance anytime he's got the ball in his hands. And on this occasion, he did just that.
Well, he's definitely the guy that makes this offense go. And when you're an RB1, running back one, you've got to be willing to be patient at times as well. Not every run's going to be the home run we saw there. But once you get that opportunity and that opening, you take full advantage.
Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. A lot of time for this unit to game plan on the sideline after that drive that they watched the other side just score. But remember, last time they were out, they scored as well. We'll see if they can seize that momentum right back.
And they haven't had a lot of time to cool off from reaching the end zone the last time. So have they been able to keep themselves mentally sharp and into this game, even though they haven't been on the field? And you and I both know, one big play, though, gets them right back up to that level.
Setting up play action. Franks. Looking for his running back, and he's got it. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. 16 yards to pick up there. The Colts have a first down.
16 yards. First down, Colts.
I know this may be jumping the gun a little bit, but 7-7, they're flinging it around like crazy. Look at the drive that's going on here. Partner, we may have to start thinking about one of these defenses just holding someone to a field goal and maybe trying to get advantage that way.
That'll wind up a gain of 27 on the catch and run.
That's another Colts first down. A gain of 27 on the play.
So a first and 10 now in Denver territory at the 35-yard line. Franks now. A short one there, caught by Warren. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. That's over 40 yards of movement with those last two plays. So from inside the 20, here's first and 10 at the 18.
First and 10 at the 18-yard line.
Hands it off out of the gun. And they'll get him down right around the 16. Give him a couple on the carry there. Second and 8.
Gain of 2. Brings up second and 8.
They'll try the left side. Sack. And he stopped immediately there. Here's play number 7 on the drive. This is 3rd and 7. Operating from the gun. Franks. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
That's a pretty play there. Got in at the last second, helped force the ball free, and kept them out of the end zone.
Cade York on now for the field goal. From the left hash, just a 32-yard attempt. York able to send this one through. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
The Broncos offense, led by their running back, headed out for the second possession. And we give you a look there at the league leaders in receiving touchdowns. You can see he's second best amongst NFL running backs at this point in the season. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. And now last drive, so successful with the ground game, ending in a touchdown. Do you stick with that formula?
That would be the number 1 thing you would think of, but so many guys now would look at it and say, we've got them set up so well for play action, now's the time to take a shot.
Yeah.
But, you know, there was a big-time coach in the state of Ohio who once said, if you throw the ball, if you put it in the air, 3 things can happen, and 2 of them are bad. He would have kept it on the ground.
It'll go as a gain of 4, and that's going to set up a tough 3rd and 9. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And incomplete on the deep ball.
And that That is how you respond after taking one on the chin to begin this game. Give up a first-drive touchdown, go back out on defense, and completely shut them down to force a 3-and-out.
On is the punter Scott here as he gets this one away. This will be fielded at the 17. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that one, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. The best way to do it, touchdowns.
I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle it, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that, you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch. Now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that. Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And then the next breath they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up first downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there.
Important here, especially early in the game like they have. And he's got this down to the 35. 53 yards rushing for him as he's got the afternoon off to a great start. They'll run on first down. Sack. And he'll follow his blockers there all the way down to the 23-yard line.
Colts, first down. A gain of 12. And the Colts, first down.
10-7 our score after 1 right here on EA Sports. Start of the second quarter, and it's the Colts in possession as they've got it with a 1st and 10. And they'll run on the inside handoff. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Brings up 2nd and 9 at the 23-yard line.
They'll bring a receiver in motion right. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Down the field, he's got Warren. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
First and goal, Indianapolis.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end. A guy that you can line up anywhere. In the slot, out wide, in tight. Doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. 2nd and goal from the 1.
Second and goal.
And they'll run again. Trying to find a lane, but he finds nothing but defenders. Stop for no gain at the 2-yard line. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
And now 3rd and goal coming up. The loss on 2nd down. That just means this crowd's going to get even louder. And they'll get a little bit of extra help from the defenders as they exhort them to join them in the effort.
And they'll go jet sweep to try to pick it up. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. 4th down now after a loss of 2. And they try to catch him by surprise there on 3rd down, but this defense, they were all over the jet sweep.
And it's oftentimes all about what you're doing on the backside of the defense, whether it's the defensive end or the outside backer, who's setting the edge. And if they don't get blown off the line of scrimmage, they can really wreck a play. And in this case, they were able to make the tackle for a loss as a result.
So a long drive gets them down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
The Broncos offense and their running back getting ready to go back to work. And they've used him quite a bit in the passing game as you take a look at the NFL leaders in receiving yards by a running back, and he's right there in the mix. They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. And to the 36-yard line, taken down there after getting 8 yards. Ball on the 36 now. Here's 2nd and 2.
Brings up 2nd and 2.
A play action fake. They'll look to throw. The Colts are going to get him. Down he goes. It'll go in the books as a 7-yard loss on the sack. And it's 3rd down. Now back to throw. And got his man complete. And he is out of bounds inside the 35.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 30.
Now a first down carry by Jones. Taken down at the 30. 2nd down and 6 now.
Brought down at the 30-yard line. A gain of 4.
Looking to throw. This one swung out here to Jones. And they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Broncos first down. The Broncos at 2-7 now on the year. Yeah, they've lost 3 straight here. It kind of goes without saying, I guess, but they could certainly use a win.
Yeah, no doubt about that. There's a difference between a losing stretch and a losing streak, and right now, they're not playing their best football, but if they were to fall here, and now you're looking at going 4 games without a win, things can start compounding themselves pretty quickly from this point forward.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. And his throw's going to be incomplete. This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10.
3rd down.
Back to throw again. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. The Colts D sticking to their assignments, and that brings up 4th.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender, couldn't create space, couldn't uncover the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
And this one is right through. And that will cut the lead back down to 3 at 13-10. Well, in a close game like this, obviously you want the touchdown, but certainly they will take the 3.
And they'll be okay with that, but let's throw a little credit to the defense as well. I'm just glad this doesn't come down to a debate, right? Which side won, partner? Because the defense, hey, we didn't give up a touchdown. The offense, hey, we put 3 on the board. Either way you look at it, I think both sides gained something out of that drive.
The Indy offense at the line and set to go. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it, forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize. Like going to the county fair, you don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. It's Franks now from the shotgun. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 3rd catch of this first half for him, and this one is a first down.
First down, Colts.
Now a handoff up the middle. Sack. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43.
2 yards.
Here's a 2nd and 8.
It's 2nd and 8.
They'll send the tight end in motion. Here's 2nd and 8. A short one there, caught by Warren. The Colts on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This time it's 3rd and 3. Back to throw. Franks. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos 40. Another good reception there. The Colts on the march.
First down, Indianapolis.
So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. As long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. They'll keep it on the ground. Sam. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher third down looming. Working out of the gun, Franks. And it is caught. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 27-yard line.
First down. First and 10 at the 27-yard line.
Looking to throw. Franks. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 10.
Operating from the gun. Franks. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he's brought down, but not before a gain of 13, down to the 13. 1st and 10 in the red zone.
First and 10 at the 13-yard line.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. They'll run the jet sweep with Douglas. And here he'll get it down to the 7. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4 at the 7-yard line.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. They'll try and pick it up by running the option to the right. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. It's their quarterback. His 2nd TD of the game and 18th of the year, as his guys are able to extend their lead.
Well, I'd have to say that for him, that was an all-encompassing drive because it was his arm that got his team down to that point, but his legs that finished the deal. Give him credit for making it happen.
Extra point by York is up and good. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
But you've got fan bases that wanted that. They weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
And here's Jones again on 2nd down. And some strong running. And he's going to have the Broncos first down as the tackle made just shy of the 40.
First down. First and 10 at the 39-yard line.
But, partner, if the defense isn't going to adjust and they keep giving them those 5, 6, 7-yard runs over and over, they're likely to run it the whole way to the end zone. They'll be more than happy to take the yardage available and save some of their other plays in the playbook for another time.
A gain of 5, and it'll be 2nd down. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. From the 44-yard line, here's a 2nd and 5. back to throw. Now he's going to step up and run. And he'll get it down to the 47 here.
And the Broncos, first down. First and 10 at the 47-yard line.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. That's caught. It's Marvin Mims. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Second and 2.
Back to throw here. And he'll be brought down by the Colts. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts, as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. And that is incomplete.
It's a tried and true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. The Colts offense and their quarterback headed out for this next possession. And he's had things all his way in this first half. The numbers sensational as he'll look to add to them with another drive here. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. Still more than a minute to go, so there is time if they want to mount something here.
Not only time, but they have 3 timeouts at their disposal as well. So that changes everything that you're doing here. Without those timeouts, you can only work the sidelines, hoping to get out of bounds. Here, the middle of the field is still available because you can call timeout and regroup.
This pass left side to Downs. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line.
That's a gain of 8.
Franks, 3rd down from the gun. He's going to float this one deep right side. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. Here's Ethan Evans now. He'll send this one into the mile-high air, and it's a good one. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. Denver's offense now set to go. And the ball backed way up, so thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds.
That's good.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
1st and 10 at the 31-yard line.
They'll look to throw. Complete to Jones. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see.
1st and 10 at the 42-yard line.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. Finding room at midfield. And finally taken down at the 44-yard line. So halftime straight ahead. It is time to join our good friend Scott Hansen. He's got our EA Sports halftime report.
All right, Brandon, thanks much. We're officially on to the second half of the season, Week 10. The playoff race starting to faintly take shape. Let's get into it. Our spin through the NFL starts now. In Inglewood, the Rams at home to take on the New York Jets. And it's the Rams quarterback. Well done here. It's a touchdown. The Rams win their 4th straight as they get the victory here. Next up, Lambeau Field. Let's look in on the Packers as they play host to the Atlanta Falcons. And it's the Falcons quarterback, 12 yards on the touchdown. The Falcons are playing well. They move to 7-3 with the victory. Lastly, let's go out to Chicago. The Bears taking on the Tennessee Titans. And it's Bijan Robinson. He's going to find a crease and take it 13 yards to the end zone. The Bears move back to within a game of 500 at 4-5 with this win. And here's a look at the rest of the action that's going on, the risers and the fallers around the NFL here in Week 10. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been back and forth to this point. No reason to expect anything different in the second half, as we send you back out to the stadium with Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
It'll be the Broncos getting the football first in this second half as they trail, and we are back underway. Oh, a good return up past the 30. And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. The home team's offense and their running back getting set for this next possession. And he's been a tough guy to contain this year, and his numbers reflect that, as you can see right here. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Now he'll tuck this and run. Shoves him aside. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's second down.
Taken down at the 41. It's a gain of 7. Brings up second and
up the middle, Jones. And some nifty running here as he'll take this across midfield and down to the 47. 78 yards for him on the ground now, as he has been terrific here this afternoon. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Jones. From the 42-yard line, here's second down and 5.
A gain of 5 brings up second and 5.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Man open, here is Jones. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. A gain there of 30 big ones.
A very nice job right there, working the middle of the field, able to create some separation, and then utilize it to not just make the catch, but turn upfield once he got the ball.
And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. A great effort there. His 6th touchdown of the season. And the Broncos have cut it back within a score.
The tight end position has always been dangerous, especially in the red zone, short field. But now even more so, because these tight ends aren't necessarily the tight ends of old. They're the rocked-up wide receivers who have a little bit more speed. Way harder to cover than before.
Extra point right down the middle. And the lead is down to a field goal.
17.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. But Charles, they still have the lead despite their defense giving up a touchdown on the previous possession. And even though they have that lead, it feels like a back-and-forth ball game where to try to get momentum back, maybe they need at least 3 here on this drive.
I think you're right about that, Brandon, because your game plan doesn't change. I do believe your urgency does because of the last score that went against your team. So what you want to do now is have your own drive and try and make sure that momentum stays in your camp.
And only able to get 2 here, stopped at the 30. Here's 3rd and 6. The Franks looking to throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Colts first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
First down. An 8-yard pickup. And the Colts.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
A big play there for Indy. 56 yards.
And the 6-yard line.
don't want to harp on it, but this defense among the bottom in the league against the run, and they show it right there.
And it doesn't matter when you get prepared for this defense, whether you're good running the ball or not. That's your plan. Run the ball against them. That's their weakness. And by the way, I think you harped on it.
I did. My bad. And the ball smacked down on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. Franks. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he takes this one in for a Colts touchdown. From 4 yards out. And the Colts are able to stretch out their lead. Circle that drive because that might be one to remember. Well executed to give them a little cushion.
Well, let's take it into the boxing ring. You talk about them commanding it, keeping the fight where they wanted to, whether it was in the center of the ring or putting them on the ropes because it was jab, jab, jab. And finally, the haymaker to put that drive away.
Extra point by York is up and good. And his guys will take a 10-point lead.
17.
York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. And Denver getting set to take the field. They did what they had to do to start this third quarter. Went down, got the touchdown to cut the lead, but the matching touchdown a moment ago, and we're right back where we started at halftime.
Yeah, you're exactly right, partner. They had a little bounce in their step after scoring that first touchdown, but the defense gave one up, and that's the problem.
And he lost the football. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. Fortunate to get that football back because trailing here in the second half, last thing they needed was to lose the possession.
And the word I think of here is opportunity because it could have been lost there, their chance to score points. But the opportunity for the defense was to go ahead and really close this game down if they were able to get possession.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Again to Jones. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 94 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here. Now from Colts territory, here's a 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. And a solid run down inside the 30. That one good for 10 yards. And it'll be 2nd and very short. On play action, they'll throw. He finds his man, complete. That's Ferguson. And they'll get him down inside the red zone at the 14. It's also a gain of 14. 1st down.
What a drive this has been, just chewing up the yardage. And here's one of their best plays yet as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
They'll look to throw now on 1st down. Going right back to Ferguson. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a 2nd and about a foot.
It's 2nd and inches.
Out of the pistol to give to Jones. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He winds up giving a yard back there, and now it's 3rd and 2. They'll look to throw. Keeps himself upright. But now he's swallowed up and taken down. Trenton Simpson, well, he just flew in there to drop him. We've seen him escape similar situations earlier in the game and get away for pretty good yardage. At that time, they get him down.
Yeah, they've had enough evidence that he can get away and run for good yardage, haven't they? That time it felt like, okay, enough of this. Let's play it the right way and get him on the ground before he does any damage.
So the response to that touchdown on the other side to begin the third quarter. Look, just 3 points, but still a response nonetheless.
You're exactly right about that because I think you needed to answer back with something, even though it's not 6. Just enough to send a message that says, hey, we're not going away.
The Colts offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. And he's been a nightmare to scheme against throughout this one. This defense has been totally taken apart, and that is borne out in his numbers. He's been terrific all game long. And that is incomplete. Well, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down.
It's now 2nd and 10 at the 30-yard line.
They'll bring a receiver in motion right. Now Franks. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a first down. Franks now. Connecting over the middle with Downs. He'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50.
Defense.
So they'll, of course, decline the pass interference there and wisely take the yardage.
And I think defensively he's saying, I was getting away with that in the first half. Why are you making that call now? But to me, that one was pretty easy to see. I don't understand what he's upset about. I think it was the correct call.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11.
2nd and 11 at the Broncos' 49-yard line.
The Wolves taken in by Downs. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Good yardage after the catch. Is that play good for 30 and a first?
First down. 1st and 10 at the 19-yard line.
Well, partner, that's how you make a long drive suddenly not so long anymore. One big play, and they're already in field goal range with designs on getting more than that.
And he'll get this down only to the 18. Now 2nd and 9.
Brought down by Drew Sanders. 1-yard gain. Brings up
Back to throw. Franks.
At 18
Throwing into traffic there, and that's complete.
yards.
And the Colts are going to have a 1st and goal as he's taken down at about the 8-yard line.
1st and goal.
Oh, how about this on 1st and goal? Well, on this one, he may need to go back to the drawing board. He's going to be swallowed up right away. Now from the 9, here's 2nd and goal.
At the 9-yard line.
Looking to throw. Franks. They'll wind up losing a yard on the play. And now what we have here, a 3rd and goal.
And we constantly talk about people being on the same page. In this situation, the two of them saw the play with the same eyes. They understood where the open spaces were going to be, and they found a way to get there to pick up a new set of downs.
Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
Cade York on for the field goal. A 26-yard attempt.
York able to send this one through. And that will extend their lead even further.
30.
So 3 field goals that he's hit now. This last one helps him stretch out the lead.
He's been solid, hasn't he? And he lives up to the adage that every offensive coach has ever said to us. We want to end every possession with a kick, right? For them, it's either extra point, field goal, or at worst, a punt. In this case, it's been threes.
Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But also have to remember, they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
A gain of 2.
2nd down and 8.
At the 30-yard line.
They'll drop to throw. He finds his man complete. It's Ferguson. And getting this just shy of midfield. They'll spot it at the 49.
1st and 10 at the 49-yard line.
And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. Well, that's one of the drawbacks of running the RPO. If those linemen go into run block mode, you can't throw it if they're more than a yard downfield. And he is going to be taken down. And that should be the final play of this third quarter.
It's a loss of 3 on the play.
Multiple defenders in there to bring him down as this quarter comes to an end. So both offenses come to life here in this third quarter as this is shaping up for a good finish. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Welcome back now to Denver. It's the Broncos trailing, but they do have possession of the football as we begin quarter number 4. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And he's got his man in stride, complete. The Broncos on third down, 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 7. Looking to throw. Fighting through pressure. Now he's going to step up and run. And I don't think he got there, no. He's short by maybe a foot, maybe. Call it 4th and inches.
That looked great when he first took off because in my mind, there was room to run and he had the marker in his sight. But I certainly didn't expect him to close so quickly, and neither did he. They got to him just in time, and now that forced him to make a decision with this 4th down call.
They'll run it with Jones. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down. He's been tough for this defense to handle, over 100 yards. You kind of knew that they were going to him on that play, didn't you?
They certainly did. That's one of those situations where you simply say, my best runner over my best blockers, let's go ahead and pick it up. And I don't care if they know it on the other side. Here we come, and they got it done.
2nd and 4. Quickly into the hands of Mims. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down.
It's 3rd and 1.
Here now, 3rd and a yard. They'll try and run for it with Jones. And he gets the first down here as he's taken down at the 24. 118 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. Now, yes, a 2-possession game, but a good chunk of time on the clock, so they have the ability still there to run it on 2nd and short, but maybe they need to pick it up a bit.
You're right. They did pick up the first down there, but as you mentioned, they have to pick up the pace now because it's a 2-possession game. They've got to get there twice to make sure they have a chance to win.
Again, it's Jones. And he'll take this one down near the 15. 3rd and inches, and they've got some extra beef up front. 3 tight ends. It's a quarterback sneak. And he's going to run into a brick wall right in the middle of the field, and I don't think he got there. Only a few inches needed on the sneak. He didn't get it, and now it's 4th down.
They gained nothing, and all they need are inches. Usually we put this on the offensive line, but sometimes it's the quarterback's fault as well on the sneak. You've got to get low and burrow.
Usually we talk about O-line surge. Their D-line surge leading to 4th. All right, so they needed 2 scores to get back in the game. The field goal there, maybe not exactly what they wanted, but the necessary first step.
There's still time remaining, and there's enough time to get it done. They've got to get at the least a 3-and-out here to get the ball back, preferably a takeaway.
And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. The visitors' offense and their running back getting set to go once more. And it's hard to believe you could run the ball a whole lot better than he has. The vision, the cutback ability, the acceleration, it's all been on display throughout. A short one there, caught by Warren. Just a gain of a couple there. And that will bring up 2nd down.
It's vitally important to wrap him up immediately because if you let that big guy get ahead of steam up, boy, then you've got real trouble trying to get him down.
But they're able to hold him to a short gain on 1st down. Here's 2nd and 8. Now he'll tuck this and run. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The escapability in evidence there as that one good for 15 and a first.
First down, Colts.
Up the middle they go. Sack. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 12 more yards there and another first down.
First down, Indianapolis.
They'll keep it on the ground. Sack. And down inside the 40 to about the 38. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Brings up 2nd and 3.
Now a handoff up the middle. Sack. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
First and 10 at the 30-yard line.
Up the middle they go. Sack. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
A 3-yard pickup. Brings up 2nd and 7.
Now they'll run on the draw. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. They got to get to the 20 to keep the drive alive on 3rd down. Operating from the gun. Franks. Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down. So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here.
A 47-yard attempt.
York able to send this one through, and that will extend their lead even further. So that CD, an important one here in the 4th quarter.
And that importance cannot be overstated. All eyes on both sidelines were staring that one down all the way. The significance is that they made it a 2-score game. Still lots of time left to go, but likely that was their goal at the start of the drive. Get 3 points, make it a 2-score game, and they were able to get it done.
The home team's offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And this defense has got to be at its wits' end, trying to come up with ways to keep him contained. He's had so many opportunities to tuck it and go, and he's turned a number of those opportunities into big plays. And he'll scratch out a yard up to the 30, and that's all. This is 2nd and 8.
Brings up 2nd and 8.
They'll set up a throw. A slant to Jones. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And now we've got a 3rd and 3.
Brings up 3rd and 3.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. That is caught. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. Well, they were in search of a short gain on 3rd down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards.
First and 10 at the 41-yard line.
And in a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified, big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get the 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
Brought down at the 35-yard line.
They're going to look to throw. He sets up the screen to Jones. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line.
That's good for Broncos. First down. First and 10 at the 27-yard line.
Out of the shotgun is Jones. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5.
Another Broncos first down. First and goal at the 5-yard line.
They'll look to throw here. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle 3rd of the field. That'll bring up 2nd down.
Incomplete. Brings up 2nd and goal.
They'll set up to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Denver. A 5-yard touchdown. And the Broncos have made it a one-score game again here in the fourth. They went empty backfield, all their weapons out wide, so there really was no secret here to what they were going to do.
No secret, but they still had to execute it, and they still had to protect the guy throwing the ball, because oftentimes when you empty the backfield, people bring pressure at you. They managed to hold in there and successfully complete the touchdown pass.
Extra point splits the uprights, and now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. So their lead back down to one score after the touchdown a moment ago. First down's a must on this drive as they start out here 1st and 10. Off the play fake, here's Franks. And this nearly an interception, but it's incomplete. Well, a turnover really would have helped him there, but not to be. He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. And they work this well upfield across the 45.
It's a gain of 23 yards. And the Colts, first down. 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line.
On a delay of game there, they could not get the playoff in time.
Frustrating for the head coach, frustrating for the offense. Sometimes you have to get the play call in a little bit quicker.
The delay of game backs him up 5, 1st and 15. And they'll send the slot in motion left. And the Broncos get there and take him down. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. Working out of the gun, Franks. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. And his defense here going to burn their second timeout. But you can also factor in another timeout that they'll get when the clock stops at the 2-minute warning. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. Back to throw. Franks. He's going to float this one deep right side. This is caught inside the 15. And now here comes the third of their timeouts defensively. So they'll be left with only the 2-minute warning to stop it from here on out. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Now a handoff up the middle. Sack. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. 3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the fourth. This, in all probability, another run here on 2nd and 8. Another run on 2nd down, trying to cover up. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. And now the question everyone's wondering, look at the clock, late 4th quarter, do they put the ball in the air here on 3rd?
I don't. I run the football, and I tell my offensive line, no leakage up front. I want my running back hit as I hand the ball off to him. I don't want any type of an issue.
Oh, no, he lost the football. It's picked up by the Broncos. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
I know you're looking at the scoreboard clock. We're getting near the end of this game. But they were in what was really called 4-minute offense. And that's practice, being taking care of the football, taking time off the clock, not giving them a chance to come back. But bottom line is, what did I say in the beginning? Taking care of the football. That didn't happen.
Didn't do it, a costly turnover. So the Broncos now down by a field goal, 1:16 remaining. A 4th straight defeat looming on the horizon, barring a comeback here as they've got it with a 1st down.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line.
Back to throw. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. They'll come up now, 2nd and 9.
At the 30-yard line. A gain of a yard. Brings up
He'll look to throw. Able to find Jones. This definitely 4-down territory at this point, but a critical 3rd down here. He's back to throw. He's got his target. That's complete. And he will have the Broncos first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line.
And now the spike comes with 28 seconds left on the clock. They'll come up now on 2nd down. Back to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Knight. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40.
It's a gain of 6. Makes it 3rd.
They'll look to throw. That's to the right sideline, and it falls incomplete. But still need one completion for field goal range.
And just think about what they're going over in the huddle right now. Make the catch, get out of bounds. That's going to be tough to do. So make the catch, get up to the line of scrimmage, and clock it to have one last shot.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. Oh, that is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And it'll be a turnover on downs. So he'll take a knee here to wrap this one up, and he's going to want to keep that game ball. He was sensational. So this one winds up an Indianapolis victory. And they say it's never easy to come into Denver to win because of the altitude. They look pretty comfortable in the altitude.
They certainly did. I'm not quite sure how they got prepared. And it's always been a big debate about what to do. I lived out there at one point. I lived in Colorado Springs. And I remember saying to someone after my 2nd or 3rd day there, like, this altitude thing, this is no big deal. And day 4, it hit. And it hit hard. And it took me a while to get ready and get acclimated. So some teams, they like to come in early. Try and get on a schedule and feel good with it. Other teams say, forget it. Let's not let the effects jump on us. They come in as late as possible, as close to kickoff, and play. Whatever way they did it, it worked in this one.
So for Indianapolis, it's a rare victory for them as they get that record back to 3-7. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Denver, add another loss to the pile as they drop to 2-8 now on the year. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week.